Today for my campfire tale, I'm going to share my secrets on how to catch just lots and lots of perch out of Lake Washington. It's been a real passion of mine for years and years, and it's taken me a long time to figure it out because I fish the old-fashioned way. I don't use fancy electronics and go out with a big boat and locate schools of fish that way. I fish out of a little, either my canoe or a kayak, and just use just real standard basic gear with a little rubber jig and a worm or a piece of perch meat and a little sinker to get it down to the bottom. Real simple stuff. But the trick is knowing where the fish are. And it's taken me, kind of studying the lake a little bit to figure out how it all works. And Lake Washington is kind of a unique lake for warm water fish. In the spring, the fish start coming closer to shore and following as the sun warms the water, they start getting closer and closer to shore. And I usually start fishing about the 1st of July. And I fish maybe 15, 20 feet of water just outside the dock line, and I look for weeds coming up out of the lake and kind of fish along the edges of those weeds. And then I just follow, just go drift along and bounce along the bottom and until I locate a school of perch or two. And that works real good in the summer, but in the fall, one of the things that happens is as the weather starts getting colder, about the middle of October, the warm water kind of sinks to the bottom and it starts moving further from shore. And when it does this, not only do the perch move further from shore, but the whole ecosystem seems to move further from shore. As the bottom warms up in deeper water, different plants grow that were dormant during the earlier part of the year. They start blooming and they attract little insects and which attracts little minnows, and the perch find these things in different spots. And so it keeps going further and further from shore, and so a school of perch will just kind of circle around until they find these spots, and then they'll keep coming back. They'll stay there for about an hour or so until all the minnows or the crayfish or whatever, they've eaten it up. And then another school will just kind of be roaming around the lake, and they'll come in, maybe an hour or so later. So you'll have kind of periods of, if you find a good spot that attracts all this insects and worm or, minnows and that sort of thing, that spot will stay good, all day long, all week long, until the weather gets colder and they move further from shore. So I just kind of go a little bit deeper, like October, November, until I finally find the level that the perch are at. And then I just go parallel along the lake with my little kayak, bouncing it on the bottom until I feel them. When it gets, along about 1st of December, you're fishing 50, 60 feet of water, and now it's harder to feel the fish a little bit. You kind of have to change your fishing pole and your fishing line, and have something that you can't have that monofilament that stretches too much because you can't set the hook anymore. You have to use a little bit stiffer rod and line, a non-stretching line to catch them. But boy, when you're into them, I love perch. I mean, they are just one of the tastiest fish. If you fillet the bones out, you got to learn how to fillet and just get straight perch meat. And then I use the carcasses, for crab meat, crab bait later on in the year also. So, but really enjoy the taste of that perch. I mean, you can fry them up, you can bake them. They taste really good. So learn how to catch them, learn how to fillet them. You will have a good time fishing because there are a lot of them out in the lake, and they're just waiting for you to go out and catch a few of them. We hope that you enjoyed this week's telling of Campfire Tales. Please remember to hit subscribe to make sure that you get the announcements for next week's upcoming activities, as well as the new topics for the Campfire Tales. Please also share the fun that we have here and let your friends know about our website, RogersOutdoorChannel.org.